Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Wildcat Way Show. I'm Kari E. Valance.
And I'm Kendale. Welcome to a newly dropped episode of the Wildcat Way Show, a show in which we hope encourages and inspires all who are watching or listening on our YouTube or podcast.
Now, we want to wish all of you a happy new year and welcome to our first show of 2021. With that in mind, I thought this would be a perfect show to talk about our New Year's resolutions, what we hope to, go forward with this new year with, and how to best succeed in whatever goals that you're trying to achieve this year.
Right.
Kendall, do you want to share with us maybe your New Year's resolution or what you foresee happening in the future of this year?
So, Kari, if I could be honest with you, my New Year's has been a blur. We've been real busy, but my New Year's resolution, I don't think it changes much.
Okay.
Because I have specific goals, and they're built around faith, family, fitness, finances, and fun.
Right. Okay, I love that.
So those things are something that I just naturally govern every year around, right? So one of the things I do want to accomplish, I told you about the house, we want to get that behind us.
I know, that's very exciting news.
Selling our home and then buying another home. But I hadn't really put much thought into anything as it relates to tangible that I needed to do, right?
Sure.
I am going back to school.
Good.
I will be finished. I'll be starting my master's program this year, so
Awesome.
that is one thing I want to get behind me.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really put anything like in concrete on what I actually wanted to accomplish tangible this year.
Right, that's totally understandable. And a lot of people do feel that way when it comes to a New Year's resolution. They don't really pick just one thing that they want to achieve. It's more of a mindset, right? And like changing your whole mantra and outlook toward, your how you're living your everyday life. So I think that that's also a sustainable thing. And if you want to put your mind to that, maybe you weren't always living the most positive way, or you were kind of letting some negative thoughts creep into your psyche. So if you just want to say, you know what, this is the year that I'm going to move forward and motivate myself to be the best me that I can be, that's it.
Yeah, and mentally, I think you touched on something that's strong, like the mindset, because you can write all these goals down, you have all these New Year's resolutions, but if mentally you're not really prepared to handle everything that come with it. One thing that I always challenge myself, because whenever you're at work, we got goals here where we work at, right? So there's some specific things that we want to knock out. And you have to realize there's a cost that come with this stuff.
Sure.
So mentally you have to prepare yourself to know that, hey, just because you set the goal, it don't automatically happen.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And you see it all the time. And one thing I think that I wanted to encourage people whenever you talk about New Year's resolution, around this time, Kari, the gyms are packed.
I know.
You go to the gym, and I'm talking about, you see people that you hadn't seen in the gym in a while. And around March, around April, people fall off. So what I would encourage people to do, if it's a fitness goal, if it's a fitness resolution, if it's something geared towards your health, like surround yourself around encouragers. Because one thing that I can't stand to see is the negative Nancy's whenever they say, oh, the gym is packed, we'll see it empty in March or May, they won't be here long. And I'm like, man, look, people are trying, people are struggling, people want to get back on track. So surround yourself around people that can really encourage you to achieve those things.
I think that's really important too, because that is such a true trend that we see happening. Of like the 50% of adults that make resolutions every year, there's a huge majority of them by March, 2-3 months in, they're like, you know what, this is tough. Or I said that I was gonna, run 4 days a week, and I've already missed a few days, and I don't know how to get back on track. There's no problem with saying, I'm gonna start again. I've fallen off. Let me pull myself up by my bootstraps and start again. So even if you sign up for a gym membership today, and you go for 6 weeks, and then you're like, man, it's kind of rainy outside, I don't feel like waking up at 5 a.m. or I don't feel like going at 6 p.m. after the kids go to bed, just give yourself a little slack sometimes and start over.
So, Kari, the challenge too is that most people think this is about perfection.
Right, yeah.
This is about progress. If you miss a day, if you miss a week, right? So that doesn't mean the journey is over.
Absolutely.
That just means you pick up where you left off. But most people say, well, I quit in March, so I'm gonna wait till December or January of next year to start again. I'm like, no, you don't have to wait that long. You can pick it up, right? And I'm gonna tell you, because like I really love to see people trying new things, going after new things. So I'm always inspired whenever I see somebody in the gym for the first time in a long time. Like that gives me hope that people want to be better. They want to do better. And it's sad that you have so many people, like you and I may not be able to relate to it, but you got so many people that'll turn their nose up at people trying to start.
And it's like, why? Because there was a point in time where
you hadn't always been
here. Like, after having a baby, you're not thinking, I'm going to start going to the gym now. No, when the baby sleeps, I sleep. And when the baby's eating, I'm having the leftovers. So I wasn't really thinking that. Finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this baby for a walk today, and that'll be my exercise. And then you start just gaining momentum. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with somebody saying, you know what? I'm going to change my life, whatever step it is. Sometimes it's easier to take small steps, right? I feel like sometimes people overwhelm themselves with these New Year's resolutions that kind of might be a little bit unrealistic. Like you set this goal that it's like, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. Well, why don't we just start by climbing the hill that's on the top of your subdivision? You know, like make it small and build yourself up to that.
And Kari, so I've heard this model before, and it's a SMART goal model. And it's specific, measurable, attainable, right? That goes to the relative and the real. Make sure it's relative, make sure it's in timely. Right?
Absolutely.
So you put a time on it to say, okay, I want to have walked 10 miles by this date. Because if you don't put a time on it, it's going to be hard to get it. But don't go and try to do something that you've never done before. Do stuff within your power, because the more you do it, man, the better you feel. Like I got calories that I watch on my phone. I mean on my watch, whenever I'm walking. That stuff gives me motivation. I don't always hit my calorie goal. But just to know that I'm moving forward, just to know that I'm doing it, helps me to see, oh, this is working. This is working. I think if you start small, you give yourself some grace, you give yourself some mercy along the way, right? And not think that you have to be where other people are. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Don't compare your journey to nobody else's journey. Like where they start or where you start is not where they are right now. And everybody's starting on their own timetable too.
And I think that's so important, especially here with the Wildcat family and with our student body and what we're able to do. You know, it's not just kids straight out of high school that attend PRCC. We have a lot of working adults with children of their own that are really trying to change their lives and make, you know, better decisions for their future. And so I think that making a resolution to improve your livelihood and to work hard for your future can start right here on campus, becoming a part of the Wildcat family. And one of the big points we wanted to talk about was that get support, a support system, even like how you said your watch, accountability, having a timetable of things. Those are all things that are just ingrained here at PRCC. You have support, you have a timetable of different courses that you have to complete at a certain time, and you also have the people that are just here cheering for you and rooting for you and wanting you to succeed.
So what better environment do you grow in? So a couple weeks back, Kari, I'm on the Stairmaster at the gym. So my pastor's in there with me. He's walking. I come up late, and he's done. He's done with his walk on the treadmill, but I'm on the Stairmaster. So I set this goal for 45 minutes. Kari, at 30, in my mind, I said, I'm getting off this thing. But the fact that he was there, and I told him, I said, man, I got 15 more minutes. He said, man, I'm done. I'm just in here supporting you. I'm in here encouraging you. It pushed me to
it
get
helps
all the
you
15.
so much more.
And that's why you have to surround yourself around encouraging. That's why people being, like I was the one that had to walk the stairmaster. He couldn't walk it for me. But the fact that he was beside me gave me incentive, encouraged me to say, you know what? Let me finish these 15 minutes because somebody's cheering for me. Somebody wants to see me win.
And that's what we want to see throughout all of our Wildcat family, people encouraging each other and wanting the best for people, right? And isn't that what a new year is all about? You have a completely new slate to try to fulfill your goals and accomplish whatever it is that you dare to dream about to do.
That's it. And Kari, I think you mentioned something about overwhelming yourself. I've still do this to myself from time to time, and I always have to pull back. Trying to do too much, too soon, and you never get anything done. So just pick one thing that you say you're gonna focus on that's within your control, because like when we talk about the SMART goals, the SMART goal model is for you to set that, but it's really something that you have power over. I wouldn't set a goal and say, well, I want to meet with Kari 10 times in this month, because I don't know Kari's schedule. I don't know what, so don't involve anybody else in the goal, because then you make it that much more harder to achieve it. So whenever we set these SMART goals, we're setting them based on what can I control, what's in my power, and how often can I realistically do this. And for me, I go to the gym 4 days a week. Now, if you see me in there 5 or 6, I'm doing extra.
Right.
But 4 days a week is my goal.
Yeah.
And I missed this morning. So I'm just telling you, like, that happens, right? But you get back up.
That's the thing. People get so down on themselves because they didn't do it 100%. But congratulate yourselves on doing it 95 and then get back up and do it again the next day. Don't let that, detrimental thought go into your head and run you completely off course, because you can always come back. If you miss registration this week for the start of classes, we have open enrollment happening in the next few days, and we have all these different 8-week, 4-week classes. You can come be a part of the Wildcat family here at PRCC. We're always open to having more people become a part of us, and we just want you to know that we're here to cheer you on and encourage you. And I feel like the start, 2020 was hard for so many people. I mean, it's literally going to be down in the history books as just a record-breaking year for bad things happening. So let's make 2021 be the best that it can possibly be, and why not do that right here at PRCC? Are you ready to join the fastest growing community college in Mississippi? Pearl River Community College is ready for you. With improvements at each of our 4 locations in Poplarville, Hattiesburg, Waveland, and online, securing your future has never been more exciting. 42 career and technical programs and academic transfer options allow you to build a bright future at the river. When faced with adversity, Wildcats never quit. Visit prcc.edu to learn more.
And Kari, when we talk about these goals, we talk about these resolutions, you have to really, really want this stuff.
Yes.
Because for me, I missed the deadline for the spring semester. And I text the people that I had encouraging me. I said, man, look, I don't know how I missed this date. Guess I got caught up, didn't really realize it, but it's full. All right, well, that may be a sign that you need to be doing something else right now.
Right, absolutely.
It's not the end of the world.
Yes, that's the thing. People get so deep into their head, they're like, it didn't happen, it's not meant for me. No. Well, I mean, sometimes it's just showing you maybe you can go a different route. Maybe this specific thing isn't. When a door closes, another one opens, try and see what's around the corner, And so we just want to make sure that people aren't getting too deep into their heads, and you need to, again, it all goes, when you said about the SMART plan, the time, you have to put time into planning for things too. Yep. You're a working adult. Some people have children already. Some people are maybe, juggling 2 different jobs plus their hobbies. Make sure that you're making your resolution something that is actually going to benefit you, help you in the long term, and help the people around you, because you're always wanting to better yourself so you can be the best version of yourself for your family.
And Kari, the comparison trap is a real thing.
It is. We see it all the time.
And when you set your goals, this is all, then I'm speaking to myself too, because I have to constantly remind myself of this, that Kendale, you're on your journey.
Right.
You're living your life. Nobody else could do this for you.
I know, yeah.
So comparing yourself to what you see other people have, what they do, how well they may do it, that's not real for you.
I know, and it's hard.
And it's hard, I'm telling you, so just imagine what our students are facing.
Right, I know.
When you see a kid come to school and he looks like he's upbeat 1 month, then the next month, that comparison of what you didn't think you would measure up to and what somebody else was doing. And I'm telling you, that's why you have to be in tune with what you want and know your limits, know what you're capable of, and go after that. So Kari, right now, the peace that I have comes from me living my own life.
Right, but that's taking experience that a lot of our kids these days don't have. So we just want to keep telling them, we're here for you as your resources to help motivate you and guide you in any way. We're grown. Right. We've gone through a lot of things already. You are just starting out. Don't think that you have to be all positive and all knowing and go-getting all the time. It takes practice and patience and self-improvement, and being mindful within yourself of all these things. And that takes a lot of time. And that takes several years of every January 1st waking up and being like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on this year. You said the faith, family, finances, those are things that you work day after day trying to fine tune and attain so that quality of your life is that way. But I mean, you can't just decide to do you can't just decide to do it and a week later you're like, it didn't happen yet, so I'm just gonna give up.
And I think so. Now you help me bridge into another part of what I want to talk about is the instant gratification of our goals and our resolutions. So you go to the gym and you go there, you work out, and you're like, oh, I done made it. I did today. And you go look in the mirror.
Right.
and nothing changed.
Yeah. Right.
So you go back the next day and nothing, because it's not going to change that fast.
Right.
And so many people quit because they don't see results right away. And Kari, what I've learned, and I'm sure you know this too, you don't get to control the results. All you get to control is how you show up. Is the fact that you do it, right? So you could say, oh, I want to do this in this amount of time, I want to lose 10 pounds, but all you can control is how often you go to the gym.
Sure.
You can't control when those pounds come off. That's not up to you. So the results are not in your power. But we try to control our energy, and we try to control the results too, and then get discouraged whenever the results don't line up to what we thought they should be. So just keep going, a little bit at a time, because you can't control the results.
I think what people forget sometimes, and I'm guilty of it too, because then I'm like, why did it happen? I'm like, oh wait, it took like 10 years for those pounds to creep up. It might take 10 years for me to work them off.
I'm telling you.
You can't just, and it's not just about weight, it's about, if you set a goal, I want to read a book a month. Well, if you go from never really reading on your own for fun to trying to say, I'm going to read these 12 books in a year, that's kind of a little daunting. You have to start building yourself up to carve out, like at night, I lay in bed with my book open and read. If it's for 10 minutes, if it's for an hour, if I'm really engrossed in whatever the subject is, good for me, but I'm not going to put a pressure on myself to do that. You have to really kind of know your limits and your timetable and what you're able to do, and just kind of go with it and be happy with what you've accomplished.
And Kari, at the end of the day, you have to be doing this for you.
Yes, right.
So that's why it's not that I'm encouraging you not to be your best. It's not that I'm encouraging you to slack off on your goals. It's just I'm saying that this is your life. It's going to take you 35 years to live 35 years. You don't get there at 21 and just jump 14 years. So you have to take your time and know what works for you and what doesn't. But so many people, oh, that worked for them, let me try it. And then you find yourself miserable because you're trying to live a life that's not really for you to live. If it's six books in a year, pat yourself on the back and say, thank you, I did this, I'm proud of myself. I got smarter, I got more wisdom, I got more information because I read 6 books a year. Now do 7 the next year, right? But don't try, because I used to hear people do that all the time, right? They had these things, they try to sell you on something. Hey, we're going to be in this book club, we're going to read a book a month. And I got involved in that stuff about 5 years ago. I'm like, I can't read a book a month right now. Not through how busy my life is. I got small kids and everything like that. So you're talking to people that are in their 50s, that kids have left their home, they're gone. So that's why perspective matters when you set these goals. Stop trying to make your life fit somebody else's dream and figure out what works for you right now. I just told you we're staying in a hotel right now. My kids, my wife, all in one room in a hotel. There's not much I'm gonna be able to get done this week.
I know, but I mean, you're making it a priority, right? You're staying in a hotel because y'all are selling your home and moving into another home for the betterment of your family and your future. So I think that people need to not dwell on, oh, I can't do it right now, but on Saturday when y'all move in and you'll be like living life again, and it'll be so great. I think that sometimes people get too caught up like, oh, I got ill for a week and a half, I couldn't do anything, I missed running those, I gave myself a 10-mile goal that I wanted to do, I wasn't able to accomplish it, let me just wait till next January and start all over again.
And Kari, I saw this quote one day and it says the longer you do something, the harder it is to quit.
Yo, absolutely,
See, whenever you hadn't invested much, it's easy to quit. See, if I miss a day, I feel kind of off when I don't go to the gym. If I don't do something that I said I'm supposed to be doing and it fit in those 5 categories, faith, family, fitness, finances, and fun, then I feel kind of off because I've committed my life to that. And so many people, they quit too soon before they ever even get their habits built up to say, you know what, this is what I'm doing, this is what's me. So if you miss a week, if I miss a week of working out, I'ma know it. Not because of a scale, not because of how I look, but because of how I feel on the inside, because this is what I've committed my life to. And so that's the challenge. Just do it long enough. Give yourself some time to say, hey, it didn't work yesterday, it didn't work last week, it didn't work last month, but I'm gonna keep doing it until I see the results that I want to see.
The time is what's so important, right? They call it a New Year resolution because you have all year to achieve that goal.
All year.
So don't think that, don't think that, today's Tuesday, January 5th, 5 days in, and I didn't get exactly what I wanted it to do. I mean, you have 365 days of this year to accomplish it. So it doesn't have to happen January, February, and then you give up on March because you haven't achieved that goal. give yourself some leniency and forgiveness to keep working and succeed, whatever it is. If it's like you want to kind of adjust your finances or build a better budget for your family, if you want to take 5 classes this semester instead of 4, if you want to become a walk-on into the football team in the fall, you have the time. And just like you said, it's up to you.
That's it.
You're the one in control of your future and your path. And we just wanted to share some tips on that and talk to you about some of our different New Year's resolutions and what we hope that we accomplish in the future, and how we hope that we can be here to help you with anything that you're wanting to do. I think that wraps it up for this episode today, unless you have anything else you want to say.
And so, Kari, like you mentioned, you see us on campus, right? We've lived in your shoes. We've seen what you're going through right now. So please don't hesitate to stop and have a conversation. Don't hesitate to speak and say something, because trust me, if we don't know about it, we probably know somebody that do know about it that can help you with where you are in your life right now and your New Year's resolution. So whatever it is, just give all your energy to it. Stay committed to whatever it is that you put your mind to, put your heart to, and give yourself some time.
Just give yourself grace. That's all it is. Give yourself grace so that way you can succeed in whatever it is you want. Be sure to follow all of our social media accounts on The Wildcat Way Show on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube page of The Wildcat Way Show, and listen to all of our podcasts. That's on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes. We hope you have a wonderful 2021. I am so glad to be in 2021 right now. And we will see you next time. Thank you.